Okay, so recording has started. We're cooking with oil here now. Okay, so to do justice of this stuff, I'd like to just do a quick brief history of where the mental health curriculum came from. Some of you may be familiar with this already. It's not. It's been around for quite a while, as you can see in 2006. So Dr. Stan Kuchar, you may be familiar with him and his work. He's now a Canadian senator. Um, he was a psychiatrist by trade, researcher, scientist, and an international expert in the field of adolescent mental health. He's worked all over the world. He's worked for the World Health Organization. He really is one of our gurus in Canada, he's stationed, or he was stationed at Dalhousie University, so we can even say he's an East Coaster, which is even better. Um, and what he basically the rationale for this mental health curriculum is his big thing coming from health. He comes from a health background, being a medical doctor, obviously in psychiatry, so he's kind of bridging both worlds. He realized that we really have an issue in Canada when it comes to literacy in the world of mental health. So, and he's done some research to show that mental health literacy rates are quite low. The sad news is that he started this in 2006. The mental health literacy rates are still quite low 14 years later in 2020. But that's the problem. His solution was we need to mental health literacy or even health literacy. We've known for a long time that if we can make the population more literate in health, they will make better choices, they will exercise more, they will eat better, they will do all these different things that will then decrease the burden on the system because we know the system is overrun. So that's health literacy. He wanted to take a branch off of that and say, okay, mental health literacy, if we can increase mental health literacy, same thing should happen is that we should decrease the burden on the system. If we can have people more literate in the field of mental health. Um, and just some data just to show you, I've done a number of trainings in the last 2 years, and I always track the data. I assess participants' mental health literacy rates before and after the training, and pretty much the average is about 40 to 50%. And we're measuring different parts of mental health literacy. That lines up perfectly with the research that Stan and his team have actually done in Canada with teachers, pre-service teachers, guidance counselors, and students. And it's for teachers, the average is about 40 to 50%. So it's kind of the bad news. The good news is with some training, and you're going to have all the virtual modules here today. You can increase your mental health literacy very quickly. That's the good news. That can happen quickly, and we know that if we can increase the mental health literacy in the buildings, we're going to see mental illnesses emerge quicker. And we know that early intervention is the key. If we can get a student in grade 9 who's exhibiting symptoms of depression, if we can catch it within a couple months versus they live their whole high school career suffering in silence and then they go into adulthood, that just makes the issue worse and worse. So he looked at, and I give kudos to him because he is an academic and he's got a team of PhDs, and I mean he's a medical doctor, and sometimes I think we may feel that there's a disconnection between some of these individuals and the people on the ground, the teachers, which is yourselves. He realized if we want to change mental health literacy, it's not through academia. They play a role, but it's through schools. It's through you guys, you ladies and gentlemen, you hardworking teachers that are on the front lines. Him and his team created. They teamed up with experts in education in Canada, and they teamed up with their team of experts in mental health and said, how can we create a curriculum that can be rolled out in health class, PDCP? Those are two really good fits. But it can be rolled out in all kinds of different courses. And then the goal is if we can increase that mental health literacy with this generation, it's that saying that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. If we can do some stuff in the front end and do a really good job, it can pay off exponentially down the road. So a little bit of background there. The different training options that we have at the district, and some of us have been trained directly under Stan. We have the Go-To Educator training, which is one day. The rationale or the purpose for this training is for anybody that's not going to be teaching the actual curriculum in class. So it could be a teacher, but if it's a math teacher or a calculus teacher, you're probably not going to be teaching mental health curriculum per se. Um, Bus drivers, custodians, EAs. This 1 day training is really good. Just it can increase that mental health literacy. Then the next step is we have the high school curriculum guide, which is a 2 to 3 day training where we actually we take the 1 day and then we go deeper into the curriculum and how to actually roll that out and what does it look like in the classroom. And then coming soon, I'm working on my key trainer distinction right now, and that will allow me to train core trainers who then can train teachers and everybody else. So we're trying to get that cascade model built here in the district so then we can have more people that are capable to do trainings, and then we can hit more teachers and families and so on. So that's coming soon, the core training option. So a little bit about the history and the options there. And I know I'm totally breaking some rules here with way too much text on this slide, and it's been bothering me, but I just have to, as Brene Brown says, lean into my vulnerability and just be okay with it. So ASD-N and mental health literacy 2018. So I thought it'd be just a nice recap because I don't know if everybody's aware of what we've been doing the last 2 years, really trying to get this work embedded district-wide. So we've trained over 400 staff in the last 2 years. And like I said, I keep data on everything. I do pre-test, post-test analysis. The average of the 400 plus staff, their average mental health literacy was about 48%. After the training was 85%. If we really want a good data, a 3-month follow-up would be ideal. We haven't done that, but we have seen an increase pre and post, so that's good. We've offered 3 parent community workshops. We plan to offer more. We actually were going to offer, we were planning one right before the pandemic hit, and then that got kiboshed. We did offer an online parent virtual session 2 or 3 weeks ago. So we'd like to offer more of those. So if any of your schools are interested, please contact me. We can set up something, and because we realize that it's not just students and staff that need this training. We need to reach out to parents, and then that's everybody that is surrounding that student. We are working on training more non-educational staff. So the emphasis a lot of times seems to be teachers, EAs, support staff. I've been pushing for more non-educational staff, bus drivers, admin assistants, custodians. If you're an adult in one of our school buildings, if we can increase your mental health literacy, then that net underneath our kids is getting thicker, and hopefully less kids will fall through the cracks. So that's our goal. We're really trying to get everybody, parents, teachers, bus drivers. Basically, if our youth at ASD-N interact with you, we want you to have the highest mental health literacy we can get. I alluded to, we created 2 core teacher teams, so one for Miramichi Rexton, one for Bathurst Dalhousie last year. We basically pulled in all the PDCP high school teachers and some middle school health teachers, trained them all up. Some of them had been doing this already, so it was a refresher for some, it was new for some others, and then the plan was to, some were rolling it out this year, but the plan was this coming school year 2020-21 was to roll this out district wide. So we're kind of seeing how things are going to be now that the announcement was for the fall. We're going to look at if we can pick up where we left off. We teamed up with the research team at Team Mental Health and conducted a quasi-experimental study. So Dr. Y, she's one of Stan's head researchers, and we took 2 of our schools and we taught the mental health curriculum to one, and we use the other one as a control group. I'm just tallying the results right now. We did both quantitative and qualitative analysis, so we got lots of good feedback, and then we actually measured their mental health literacy, stigma, help-seeking behaviors, and so on. So we're going to look at how did we actually make a quantifiable difference between groups. We're partnering right now with the national team to create a virtual option. So this, I know they've been talking about it for a while, but I think the pandemic has really accelerated things. And this virtual way of learning, I think we've known it's the future, but I think the pandemic has kind of been getting us to speed up. Hence, I'm sitting in my office right now doing a virtual training with you guys versus during opening day or opening week or something. So this national team, UBC, SANFX, Government of Northwest Territories, Alberta Health Services, IWK, Teen Mental Health, and ASD-N. We're part of this team, which we're very happy to be partnering with them to create a virtual option. So they're in the grant writing process right now, but a great opportunity for us. And I do think a virtual option would be a really good option because just the way the future is going. And we've been partnering, helping. They're looking to create an elementary version of the curriculum. Currently, it's a high school curriculum, which is what we're going to look at today. We do use it in middle school. It fits in grade 7, 8 health quite well. I personally haven't used it lower than grade 6. There's always been questions on can we get an elementary version? So that's why I wanted to tell you guys this, just to get everybody up to speed. They're working on it right now, an elementary version. I think it'll be upper elementary, but we will be able to start increasing mental health literacy from elementary, which is huge, because then if students go through elementary, middle school, and high school, they should be, in a long-term lens, should be much more mental health literate by the time they graduate high school. And then, yeah, we're working on a key trainer here for our district, which then we will be able to offer all the training here. We don't need to outsource, which is really good. We don't got to send people out. We can do all the training in-house and continue to build the sustainability and capacity here. So, enough of that preamble. Let's get into the online mental health literacy and curriculum training options. Like I said, probably take notes. If you want to follow along on your computer, you can, but I'm going to be going quickly. And there is you'd have to sign up for some things to get into certain portals. So if you want to just follow along, and like I said, if you have any questions after, I'm going to be, I'll be here to help you. So teachmentalhealth.org. So that's the website. If you want to, say you're a keener and you really want this summer to, and you're like, no, what, I really want to get this mental health curriculum stuff under my belt, and I want to be rolling it out in your class in the fall. This right now is your best option. We do offer in-person sessions. I'm hoping we're going to get back to those eventually, but in the meantime, this is going to get you where you need to be, and Stan and his team have done research on this, and the results are actually on par. Doing it virtually through these modules or doing the in-person training, the results are pretty much the same. And this is at your own pace, which is nice as well. So you'd go to teachmentalhealth.org. This is a partnership between Teen Mental Health, University of British Columbia, Western University, and SANFX. So they've teamed up with some of the best educational institutes in Canada, and so they really want to make sure this is teacher focused, and then obviously the expertise of teen mental health. So you're going to go here, and you have two options. You have Learn, and you have Teach. Now when I log into them, and I'll show you in the back end here in a second, they pretty much look the same. I would say just go on the Teach one. You're going to click that, and then you're going to go down. There's a little blurb by Stan Kuchar. That's Stan the man right there. Not related to Ashton Kutcher. He gets asked that a lot. Register now, and then you're going to go through that process. The beauty is it's free. If you do want a actual certificate from UBC, if that's important for you, they can send you one in the mail, or maybe they email you one, an actual certification. You can pay $50. If you're not worried about the certification, but you just want to do the modules, 100% free. So they really try to make it accessible. All of this work has been grant funded. It's not for profit. They're not looking to make any money off of this work. They want to increase mental health literacy. So that's really important too, because there are lots of things out there that are trying to profit off of different programs. And this one is the only evidence-based one in Canada. There's lots of programs, but this is the only one that has rigorous random controlled trial research to prove it works. It's free, it's Canadian, so it's got the triple whammy there. So you'd go in, then you'd register now. And like I said, I'll let you guys do that on your own. Then once you're registered, it'll take you to the UBC portal, and that's where it's housed, UBCX Online. And you're going to get into it, and this will be your back end. Like I said, from what I see, it looks like the courses are the same. The reason for the two courses, the Learn Mental Health is for pre-service teachers, because another area they're trying to get into is teacher training, Bachelor of Educations. Because I know when I did my BED, and I don't know about you guys and you ladies and gentlemen, there wasn't a whole lot of mental health. There was one educational psychology course I took. They're trying to get this stuff embedded into teacher training programs so that then they're more equipped before they even step foot into the classroom. So that's the Learn Mental Health one. Then the Teach one is if you're a current teacher and you want to take these modules and learn how to teach it. So I would go through here. I'm already logged in. You can see my name up here in the corner. And I'm going to walk you through what it looks like and just what you can expect. So, welcome to Teach Mental Health, self-paced online course. You're going to click on the course up here, and that brings you into your portal or into your modules. So module 1, go to your introduction. In module 1, we will explore so on and so forth. They have a video, the introduction and background, and the text is all annotated too, so that's all there. What is mental health literacy? So we're just going to walk through a couple things here just so you get a feel for it. Activity 1. Activity 1.3, what is mental health literacy? So there is some reading here. This gives you a little bit, and then if you want to do a deeper dive, there's options, and that's the nice thing about their curriculum as well. You can just teach the curriculum, but they have so many supplemental resources that you could make an entire high school course out of this curriculum. You could probably make a year-long course. There's a ton of information. If you just want to hit the essential stuff, it's probably a unit, probably a 6 to 8 week unit. So the interrelationship of mental health states. So this is the mental health triangle. Yeah, so this one right here, you may be familiar with the triangle. This is a cool interactive one. So basically, and this is a really good lesson, this mental health triangle. If we could get every school, every classroom teaching just this one lesson, this is a huge step towards mental health literacy. And is understanding the difference between mental distress, which is normal everyday stress, which is not pathological, mental health problems, which are things that knock us down, that test our resilience a little bit more, and then mental disorders. So for instance, dejected, and I think this is interactive. Oh, we're going to see here. And I do this with students. I will actually cut out all those descriptors, and I'll put this triangle on a big piece of paper, give it to groups, and have them, after you introduce the lesson and explain the different categories, then you have them go, and I do this with teachers as well, and have them put these descriptors in the box. So this is obviously, you can do it virtually or digitally. Really good activity. So as you can see, and I'll just kind of skim through facts about mental illness, schools, the importance of schools, you got your conclusion, and then at the end of each module, you have a self-assessment. So this is nice because it keeps you on your toes, and it'll review true or false questions on the information that you took in. And as you see, I got that one wrong. Yeah, so it just keeps you a little check-in, and then if you want to go into a deeper dive or the supplementary materials, like I said, tons of stuff here, tons of research articles, Stats Canada, and then we'll see what the deeper dive has as well. Yeah, so these are just some extra things that They're not mandatory. The impact of mental illness, some extra stats there. The burden on the system, mental disorders, neurological, substance use disorders. Anyways, lots of information here. Really, it's as deep as you want to go. So that's module 1. I would say don't rush it. Take your time, go through it. What I personally do is I just every now and then I just log back in and I'll just kind of skim through and remind myself. Like I said, I have a phenomenal ability to forget things. So then module 2, same thing. So this one is much more focused on stigma in mental illness. There's some activities, what is stigma, and so on, self-assessment. The human brain, that's that module 3. Understanding mental health, mental illness, and related issues in young people. Right, lots of different information there, and so on. And then you have seven modules. So this, I think it says at the beginning the hours it takes. I'm not 100% sure, but you're probably not going to be able to do it in one setting. But I think it's something that if you just pick away at, and that could be all that you want to do. You may not even want to teach this, which is perfectly fine. You may just want to increase your own mental health literacy, which is great. That's a huge best practice. And I would love to see people just say, no, I'm not going to teach the stuff. I'm not interested in it, or my courses don't really line up with it. But I want to increase my own mental health literacy as an educator, and you're just going to pick away at these modules. That's awesome too, right? The more people we can get this stuff in front of, the better. So that's the modules. Now I'm going to show you guys the teenmentalhealth.org website. So that was teachmentalhealth.org. This is Teen Mental Health. This is a really good website. They are reconfiguring it because there's a lot of information here. But this is where once you go through the teach, and if you do want to teach lessons, they will give you the login and password to get into the curriculum, the actual curriculum document. And I think you can download it as well. So first off, there's just tons of information here that I would highly recommend. Give this out to parents, give it to students. It would be awesome if this was on the front banner of every single school website, that this pops up, so that when parents are navigating this website, which I'm sure they are a lot more lately because of the virtual at-home learning, if this just popped up, and then know it, they may click into it, and there's tons of information here. And the beauty is it's all evidence-based. It's been vetted by researchers. You don't have to worry about, is this a good resource? Is this not a good resource? Lots of different topics. So a hot one the last couple of years, cannabis and the effects it has on mental illness, or mental health rather. So, and then you can kind of pick, who are you? Are you a teacher? Are you a parent? Are you a student? Are you a school-based clinician? They have little videos, very interactive stuff, and there's really a wealth of resources in here. You can go into the toolbox and so on. So I'm not going to really go. They even have some stuff on COVID-19 and some tips there. I would personally, from a mental health lens, I personally don't feel like you need to navigate much further than this website when you're looking for resources. They have it all compiled here, and then when they give supplementary resources, you can trust that they're good ones that that they've been vetted and that you can share. So, but when you want to teach the mental health curriculum, you would go down here, and the modules are going to show you how to do this, but I'll just show you again. You're going to go to School Mental Health Literacy, and then Modules. I'm already logged in. I think I'm auto-logged in. You will have a password once you do the modules. Then you're going to be in the back end. You're going to have the actual, and I'm going to put on my camera real quick here. Okay, so you guys can see me. So this is the actual hard copy mental health curriculum, which you can also get. I like to use both. The hard copy, and I'm going to shut my video down again. Oh, I don't know if you guys, it's still saying start my video. Okay, in case you didn't see it. Anyways, this is the hard copy of the mental health curriculum. You can purchase it on Amazon if you want. I think they're $50. You can also download them for free. They have a PDF link that you can download them. So I'm going to shut my video down again. But this is the virtual backend, and you will need to get into this even if you have the hard copy in your school or you have a copy of it, because there's videos and stuff that you need. So when you get to the point where you actually want to teach the mental health curriculum, so you move from increasing your own mental health literacy to actually wanting to teach this, and just so you know, you don't have to be a PDCP or a health teacher. We've had teachers in English language arts, grade 11, who have taken one part of the mental health curriculum and taught it in their nonfiction unit. I think they did work on stress, excuse me, understanding the stress response, and they built that into their English language arts. Basically, any of the humanities you could easily fit some of these lessons into. Excuse me. Your sciences and maths, I'm sure if you dig around, there's obviously a lot of science and there is some math. You just need to be creative. I'm not a math or science guy, so I'm not real good in that area. Biology, I'm pretty sure you could fit some of this into biology. Basically looking at where does mental illness come from and the biological components. So be creative if you want to, and you do have the permission, or if you just want to teach the mental health triangle, which I said earlier, that's awesome too. So you would come into here in the portal, and then say you want to say, you know what, I really want to focus on stigma. So you'd go into the module here. You could have your hard copy in front of you as well, but this is going to have the videos and so on. So lesson plan 1, module 1. This is the hard copy. So you have it in a PDF format. It goes through step-by-step learning objectives, teacher background, preparation. It walks you through step-by-step what you need to do, extra materials, other videos, and maybe you just want to look at some of the other videos and do maybe you have a social studies class or current world issues class or whatever, and you just want to show a TED Talk and have a critical conversation about that. Lots of stuff here. Be creative. I'm not really, there is a script, but be creative. We trust your guys' your expertise. So lots of stuff here to walk you through. And then go back here. But if you did want to do this step by step, say you are a PDCP teacher and this fits into one of your units, if you're a health teacher in middle school and say you do want to go step by step and follow it, it has the PowerPoints already pre-made. One disclaimer, some of the PowerPoints are pretty content heavy, so you got to chunk them up. I think stigma is pretty good, but myths and stigma, basically how myths, that's where stigma a lot of times comes from, is when we don't really understand something, so we create myths and so on. So this is kind of your prepping your class on what stigma is. And then just scroll down here. Myths about causes, talks all different types of self-stigma, societal stigma, and stigma on causes, stigma on treatment options, myths about people. Anyway, so this kind of do some myth busting here. So you would do that part for that lesson. And then I think there's a video as well. The videos are really good, at least the kids' feedback when we did the study last fall in Rexton. The kids really liked the videos. They found like they connected with them. So there's a series of videos here. I would highly recommend vet the videos before you show them to your kids. That's just good best practice. There's really not any content that I'd be too concerned about. It just depends on the age. Like for instance, one individual does talk about suicide and cutting and so on. If you're teaching a grade 6 class, it's up to you, but I would vet the videos first. But these are real person cases, Aaron, Stella, Danielle, which the kids really seem to connect with more than just, so you can show the PowerPoint, but then you're going to show some videos of people actually talking about their mental illnesses and the stigma that they have faced. and it makes it a little bit more real. So then you have your different modules, and like I said, step by step, it's all